Hello and welcome to this digital photo video tutorial. I'm Phil Hall and I'll be showing you how to add a creative cross-process look to your portraits. Cross-processing harks back from the days of film, when a film was produced using incorrect chemicals, producing distorted, accentuated colours, bleached out skin detail and harsh, highly boosted contrast. This produced an arresting image with bags of vibrancy and edge, and was perfect to add an extra dimension to your portraits. It was never an exact science with film and chemicals, however, but with Photoshop we can harness the power of curves to achieve some great results with bags of control. As well as using the standard RGB channeling curves that we're probably all familiar with, I'm going to be showing you how to use the red, green and blue channels to really spice up your shot and control all the different colours within your image. So let's get started and open up the start image bmx.jpg. We've already made our raw conversion and it's looking pretty good, but with some clever use of curves we can produce a really striking shot. Right, the first thing I want you to do is bring up your layers palette. So hit F7 on your keyboard if you can't see it, or just go to Window and down to Layers, and that will pop up there. Mine's already up, and as you can see we've just got our background layer there, which is our JPEG shot, our standard shot. And what I'm going to do is add an adjustment layer. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the layers palette, click on it, and from the drop down I'm going to select curves. Okay, the reason why I've done it this way rather than going to image adjust is it will give me a lot more control later on. So we've got our pop-up box here, and rather than diving straight into the RGB channel I'm going to select the red channel. So this is where we can start really playing around with the colours to get that cross-process look. And we're going to be starting off with the red channel, as I've mentioned. So what I'm going to do, if I just move it out of the way so you can see the effects on the shot, I'm going to create a strong S-curve here. And what that's going to do is just boost the reds in the highlights just by increasing it there, and then just knocking it down in the shadows so the reds reduce in the shadows there. So if I just click back, you can see it's made quite a bit of change to the shot. If you're not sure, you just want to add a bit more, I'm just going to increase it a tad more, and then down there, so you've got that nice strong defined S-curve. Okay, so we've played around with the reds. What I'm going to do now is move on to my next channel, which is green. So from the drop down list I'm going to select green, and again we've got our defined straight line. I want to go for a similar tack with the green channel as I did with red, but it's going to be subtly different. I'm still going to allow bags of green in the highlights, so I'm just going to boost that up. It's probably not looking quite as you'd expect just yet, but stick with it and you'll see the results in a moment. What I'm going to do now is just reduce the reds in the shadows, but not quite as much as I did with our red channel, which was somewhere around there. I'm going to stick to it round about there, so it's only a subtle decrease or subtle line or curve there, but we've got quite a harsh curve up the top, so it's a half and half for an S-curve, and that's made quite a difference to our shot. If I click back or preview, you can see actually our straight image is looking quite flat and dull, but now we've made these changes it's really starting to add bite to the shot. Okay, I'm going to move on to the third and final individual channel, which is blue. Click on that. Rather than applying an S-curve like I've done with the other two channels, all I'm going to do is go up to the top right hand corner and just pull the line downwards. What this is reducing is just taking out the blues and the highlights. So just taking it down a little bit, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom here and just push it upwards. Literally just click on that anchor point and increase, and you can see that is just increasing the blue in the shadows to get that really nice cross-process look. So I'm going to click back off preview to see how we're getting on. Yeah, and that's really starting to look good. Okay, finally I'm going to go back to our RGB channel, click on that, and you can see that straight line of the RGB channel running all the way through, and we've got our red, green and blue channel there, just to see what else has been happening to the shot. Okay, it depends from image to image how you apply your RGB curve, but in this instance I'm just going to boost up the contrast just a little bit more. So I'm going to click an anchor point there, just click on it and move it upwards, and then same again down just a little bit there, So let's just boosted it up just a touch, but not too much. Probably just bring it down a little bit. And then once I've done that, I'm happy with the curves I've adapted here. So I'm going to hit OK. So this is how our cross-process shot is looking. And as you can see, it's made quite a difference to the shot. If I just click back off the curves, that was our original shot. And before, I thought it was looking pretty good. But now I've applied this cross-process look, I really think it does the image justice. The reason why I've used an adjustment layer for curves rather than going to image adjustments is because we can now continually adapt that curve if we're still not happy with it and we want to fine tune it. So if I just double click on that again, we've got our curves dialog box back up. But I'm happy with that, so I'm going to hit OK and it will just revert back to how we'd left it. The other beauty is we can change the blending mode. At the moment it's on normal, which is all well and good, but I think I'm going to have a play around and see what other effects we can go for. So click on that, and from the drop down we've got a wide selection of choice. Some are going to be completely discounted, so if I click on hard light, I don't think that works for the image. If I go back, what other options have we got? Multiply, that doesn't really work. I think I'm going to go with overlay. I've used that before and it works really well. So it just boosts that contrast up even more. If you're thinking that's looking too harsh, all you have to do is go to the opacity, click on that, and then just reduce it down so we've got our original image coming through and the harshness just coming off a little bit. I want to go for around about 70 there. I'm going to click back again. That was our original shot, and this is our final image. And there we go, our cross-processed environmental portrait. Applying those changes to the curves has worked a treat. So have a go yourself. Remember, half the challenge is knowing which image will work with the technique. You'll find the best images have a strong graphical element and dynamic composition, so it's probably not best using it with a landscape, but it's really great for portraits. Anyway, thanks for watching, see you next month. Cheers!